What up, Depth Chart? It's your boy, young broadcaster Jared Young. You're on the set of the 2 Point Perspective with my co-host Miles on the mic. Miles Sweeney, how you doing today, Mr. Miles?
I'm doing good.
Good, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that Valley shirt.
Thank you. It
Yeah.
looks good, huh?
Yeah, man, it's looking
It's pretty
good.
cool.
Well, guys, we're recording on a Tuesday today, so new stuff for us. Normally, we record on Wednesdays. We had some scheduling conflicts, so it's just gonna make it a little bit easier if we could record today. So we busted out our pre-prep, and we're recording same day, which is unusual for us. So
Yeah.
but you know, it's still cool. Still cool. We got it all done. We got some really good stuff for you guys today.
We do.
Some new stuff. I'm really excited, Miles.
I am too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Latter
Cool.
half of the show is going to be pretty spicy.
I think it's going to get a little spicy. Yeah, we
Yeah.
might get some backlash, maybe
Yeah.
from some fans too.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to hear it. So, but yeah, let's just jump right in, man. First on our roster shakeup, we got Daniel Jones. The man's got a torn Achilles, so he is done for the season. That, you know, depending on what the Colts do at their quarterback position, I'm pretty sure that means that their season's over. Like I don't see them winning a lot of games without a high caliber quarterback. You know, their run game's going to be strong, but I just don't see them having a ton of success down the stretch, especially in such a tough division where they got the Jaguars who are leading the division and then the Texans following close behind. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of my feelings on that. They did sign Phillip Rivers to their practice squad. You know, we'll see. Maybe he starts this week. If not, it's going to be Riley Leonard. He's the sixth round draft pick in 2025 out of Notre Dame. He didn't have terrible stats throughout the game, but they were definitely backup stats, right? He went 18 for 29, 145 yards and an interception, no touchdowns. He's also got his own injury bug, so you know, I'm pretty sure that's why they tried to get Phillip Rivers into the facility, see what's going to happen there. But yeah, you know, I hope the best for the Colts, but I'm seeing a downward trend there.
It's an unfortunate injury, especially for Danny Dimes.
Mhm.
Excuse me, because he was looking ready to get a payday after that, and he still very well could, but he's going to be missing a large chunk of next season, so they might have to make a play for a quarterback in the offseason. So Kyler Murray, maybe. But
well, and they were playoff bound before he got injured a couple games ago, actually, and he really hasn't been the same since.
And they've been on the downward slide,
right?
Like,
well, they've had a lot of injuries, right? They've had 2 cornerback injuries. Their defense is shaken up. Their offense is obviously shaken up at the quarterback position. So, we'll see what happens with the Colts.
Yeah.
I'm excited for their future, though. If they stay with Danny Dimes, if they retain a lot of the guys that they had and get healthy, I am excited for their future.
Absolutely.
Next on my list, I got Amarion Hampton. He's back. He played last night, had a pretty decent showing for coming back after like 10 weeks being out.
Yeah.
He went out week 4. And so, yeah, he came back last night, 13 attempts, 56 yards, 2 receptions, 11 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to see that. I've got him on my fantasy team. You know, if you can snag him up, if he's sitting there, you know, by some magic, you know, if you didn't get him last week, definitely go grab him. I think he's going to take over that backfield once again. And Kamani Vidal is going to probably be playing more of a complimentary role. So I got 2 more. Next on my list is Devon Achane. He got hit with the injury bug a little bit. He didn't come back into the game this last weekend.
Yeah.
But on the season, Devon Achane on 193 attempts, he's got over 1,100 yards. He's averaging 5.8 yards per carry, and he's got 11 TDs. So for the Dolphins' sake, he's kind of been their whole offense, and I hope that he's not going to be out for too long.
Well, and they've been playing better recently.
Oh yeah,
they're digging themselves out of their hole. I believe they're 6-7 right now, and they're looking at a chance to get back to 500 this week. So that's going to be a big miss, depending on how much time he misses. But yeah, man, that's an unfortunate one for somebody who's being very productive.
Yeah,
in this part of the season. So
I'm curious to see if he plays this week. There's no official word just yet. He's questionable. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Achane. And then finally on my list, I got Shador Sanders. He is starting for the rest of the season. It is official. He had a tough week a couple weeks back. Obviously they didn't win last week either, but I think a lot of that has to do with the Browns' offensive line. I think it has to do a lot with their secondary and second level defense. Their line is obviously very good, but I think they struggle in other areas. But Shador on the season, he's only played 2.5 games, right? He's got 819 total yards, right? Throwing and rushing. He's got 6 TDs, 3 interceptions, and 8 sacks. 8 sacks through 2.5 games is crazy, man. They need to get that guy some protection.
Yeah.
58.1% completion rating. So
and that game against Tennessee had such an unfortunate ending for him. I'm sure everybody's seen the controversy with the 2-point conversion play call that did not have Shador out on the field. And that play call was just atrocious. It looked like if you're going to call...
Kevin Stefanski clearly does not like Shador Sanders. He does not trust him for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And it's probably a personality thing. I'm sure
it's
a personality conflict.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't want to enable anything like that, which I understand, but it is like, are you trying... Who's going to give you the best chance to win the game? Right. You were in that game because Shador was playing well.
And regardless of personality conflict, he should be putting the best players on the field to win the game.
Yes.
At all times.
Dude, he's coaching for his job.
Right. Exactly.
And you're going to do something like that. If you're going to call a trick play in that situation, you need your entire offense to know what to do, know what they're doing, and they looked lost. That play was over before it started.
Let me ask you something, Miles. So through 2.5 games, do you think Shador Sanders is the Browns' future? It's a small sample size, so I understand if it's too soon to tell.
I think he can be.
Yeah,
I think he can be. I for sure think they're not doing anything with Deshaun Watson. Like there's no reason why he should come back outside of financial reasons. Like, well, we're paying you, you're going to play, which I think also is a losing mentality. And so he's better than Dylan Gabriel for sure. You and I have stood on that hill ever since draft day.
Right.
I think if you get a good coach with him, get him some more weapons, get him an offensive line.
Well, and they have a strong run game. They've got
Quinshawn's playing good.
Yeah, Judkins is playing well. They've got they could beef up their wide receivers a little bit, but they've got a decent tight end over there, and their D line is
elite.
It is. It's elite. If they can maybe do some work in the off season, draft well for the secondary, and maybe make some off season moves for the offensive line. Those are things that are going to start winning them some games, and I hope that the Browns don't brown. I hope that they don't brown.
Yeah,
man.
The track record shows they do. They will, but
the front office can never seem to get it together over there.
No, not at all. We're going to move over to my 4 now. We got a couple Commanders on here. Let's start off with the worst of them. Zach Ertz tears his ACL. If you guys saw the clip, it was brutal. I mean, it was set up from a bad throw, and just I can't remember the name of the defender who did it, and they're looking into like suspending or fining him for it. But just clobbered his knee. The freeze frame is like showing a knee is not supposed to bend that way.
If you haven't seen it, but you've seen the Nick Chubb injury, it's a lot like that.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. And Ertz is an older player. He's torn an ACL before, so
I think he retires.
I think he got to retire, man. Yeah.
He's had a good career. But after something like that, I don't think that there's any coming back.
At what point is it worth it anymore? He's got a wife. And
he's made all the money he's probably going to make, right? He's not going to get another huge contract or anything like that. It's not like he's in his prime.
If you're going to be a journeyman signing 1-year deals for like vet mins, unless like outside of your love for the game, which I'm sure like that, he still wants to play from that aspect, but you got to think about your body at this point as a mid 30-year-old tight end. So yeah, unfortunate injury, brutal injury. Now we're going to go to his quarterback, Jaden Daniels, hurt his left elbow again. The same one that he dislocated a handful of weeks back. And I don't know the timeline on this. He could have just re-aggravated it. I think if he was going to be IR'd, he would have been IR'd already if it was that serious.
Right. But he didn't return to the game.
No, he did
right?
not return to the game. So that's just they're taking some blows, the Commanders. Like, after such a promising year last year, to be able to be like, we're going to beef up the roster. We got our quarterback.
Well, they did a lot of work on their offense, right?
Getting Debo.
Eckler, right? Yeah. That was a big hit right from the start of the season. And their run game's been okay since then, but it hasn't been the same, right? And that could have been huge for them. Terry McLaurin hasn't played basically all season. He's been on and off. Debo's had some injuries as well, and I know that they've had some injuries on their offensive line. So,
and they traded away Brian Robinson before that Eckler injury,
right? So
you can't help but think they're regretting that. But they're sitting at 3-10 in a season where you had high hopes for that franchise. So, just an unfortunate set of circumstances for the Commanders this year.
And I don't think that they're like lost or anything. I don't think that they're gonna be going into like rebuild mode or anything like that. You know, it's just a tough season.
You can chalk that. You can chalk that up to injuries more than anything. So,
right.
Paris Johnson, franchise left tackle for the Cardinals. He's got a knee issue. This happened last year as well. Towards the end of the season, playoff hopes were done, and they've been done for a while this year. I think just for the sake of his health and retaining him for next year, who I expect to get a contract extension, I think you got to sit him out for the rest of the year. And we've got some pretty jarring stats on Jacoby playing behind that offensive line that'll come up later, and that's only going to make it worse. But it's a lost season, man. It's like you can't risk your one stalwart on your offensive line when the rest of the players are already so bad. Right. You know. So
let me ask you something else, Miles. Another similar question about Shedeur, or to Shedeur. So do you think, I assume that the Cardinals will probably draft a quarterback this upcoming season,
depending on where they are. I don't know if they would trade up for one.
I think they're going to be sitting in a good enough spot that they'll probably get the guy that they want. And that's just me personally. But do you think that Jacoby Brissett is the guy for next season?
He should at the very least be a bridge.
Okay.
He's not the answer by any means, but we see too many times where you draft a quarterback, and there's a lot of context with this. Like, Gannon's expected to be retained. There's going to be a playoff mandate put on him. So it's like, how realistic is it for a guy like Dante Moore or Ty Simpson to be drafted by this team and play in the brutal NFC West? How realistic is it for him to make the playoffs with that?
Right.
You know, especially if he's starting out the gate. Unless he's like by far the better quarterback in camp and throughout preseason, to where it's like, well, you know, it'd be stupid to not start him over Brissett. But we see too many times these guys come into the league, especially with poverty franchises like the Cardinals, and they start playing, and your coach is going to get fired mid-season or after the season, and your development's going to get shocked. So I think the smart move would be you keep Brissett as a bridge, or you get another guy, just somebody to carry the reins for some portion of the time for a guy who's going to be drafted. So,
I always think it's unwise to put a rookie quarterback out there if you have another option that can bridge the gap a little bit for you.
100%. Gino's not really bridging the gap. He hurt his right shoulder. Another franchise getting a lot of blows. And their roster isn't specifically that offensive line. You take Genty at 6 overall. He struggled early on in the season. Gino can't catch a break. He's not playing the way that he played in Seattle. And you had...
He's got no time to throw.
He's got no time to throw. And that was a Tom Brady decision. You're looking back and thinking we could have had Sam Darnold. You could have signed Daniel Jones.
Well, and I don't think that Geno Smith is a bad quarterback.
I don't think so either.
But you have to protect him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's taking sacks right and left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that they pulled the trigger on that because of Aiden O'Connell getting hurt early, like into preseason, breaking his wrist. So I understand that aspect of it. It kind of was too little, too late, but it's just unfortunate. They hired Chip Kelly, make him one of the highest paid coordinators. That was another Brady decision. They fire him mid-season.
Right.
So
I've never been a Chip Kelly fan.
Me neither.
Yeah.
No. Ever since those Philly days, he hasn't been the same.
Right.
So,
do you think the Raiders are going to draft a quarterback?
I think so because they're holding the number 2 pick right now. Tennessee winning that game is really shaken up the draft order. So I believe it's New York, and then the Raiders holding 1 and 2 right now.
Right.
So I don't see them trading out of that pick unless it's a generational haul. If you have a shot at Fernando or Dante Moore, I think you should take it. But we don't know, man. I mean, what's Tom Brady going to do? What is he going to say? Hopefully get some better offensive linemen who aren't playing like they're drunk. But we do have somebody who tweeted today as of this recording that he was drunk when he played some NFL games. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Quentin Jammer, he was a Chargers defensive back back in like the 2010s, and he tweeted today that in 2011 he played 8 games, and I quote, completely shit-faced drunk.
Watch your profanity.
Yeah, come on, Quentin. And this is getting a lot of buzz because in 2011, he had the worst passer rating allowed that year. So was it only 8 games? It had to have been at least 8 games. Like, that's crazy for him to come out and say that.
8 games is nuts.
I know. And I got some more context on this. So like
and
I said,
they put him on the field.
Who's really
at fault here?
Hey,
who's
man.
really at fault here?
He's making millions and he wants to play drunk.
And you're going to let him play?
Like, well, I don't know if they knew. That's the thing. Like, it would be...
if you don't know, though...
That's bad.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
That's bad coaching.
So, yeah, like I said, he tweeted it today, and people were asking him questions on the Twitter thread, and somebody asked him what he was sipping on and how close to game time, like, would be his last drink. And Quentin responded, "Man, I drank the whole game and all the way home." So he was committed, and he further clarified that he had 2 tequila bottles in his bag. So he was taking some shots of the of some good old tequila before, and I assume during the game, and it showed. Because his passer rating was a grade of 49.3, very bad. And there was like a certain clip of him playing the Bills, and he just got completely juked off the line of scrimmage, and his like watching him chase the receiver, and he like couldn't even make the tackle. Somebody else had to come tackle him. And
God.
They were like, "Were you drunk during this play?" It's just crazy, man. Like, that's crazy. But I am curious, like, what is that like playing a game?
I've tried to play softball, like drinking, and this is rec softball. A lot of people drink when you play softball.
Yeah,
I cannot.
Yeah,
I cannot, and that is nowhere, not even close to the level of play that you're
of a game like softball compared to the NFL.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been playing sports my whole life, all different kinds of sports, and I cannot imagine.
I know. I mean, just think of like
in the NFL drunk.
How are you supposed to confidently remember, like, and playing DB, that's one of, if not the hardest position in football.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So you got to worry about, okay, am I playing man or am I playing zone, inside, outside leverage, all that stuff. And oh my gosh, like that's crazy.
That's probably I would say the third most complex position on a field.
Mm-hmm.
Right, just in terms of the complexities of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like that's, and for him to just confirm it, I'm like, good for you, man.
That's crazy, dude. Honestly, though, that's on Norv Turner. That's on Norv Turner for allowing that.
Mm-hmm.
He was that's what I was looking up. He was the head coach of the Chargers. Yeah, in 2012. That is crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is. And I mean, I wonder, like, would the NFL, are they able to, I mean, he's been out of the league for a while. Contracts are said and done.
Mm-hmm.
Is there, like, any action they could take on that? Because, like, I mean,
at this point, it's kind of done and past, right? Like, he's made his money.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, and I don't think he'd be that stupid, you would think, to say it if there was any risk of action being taken.
Well, I don't know. I've seen some stupid things.
Yeah,
I've seen some stupid things. So, I mean, there is still Antonio Brown, right?
There's yeah.
Well, are you? If you're good, Miles. Yeah. Next up on our weekly wild card, I've got two for us. The first one I want to talk about is the college football playoffs and all the drama that's been swirling around that. Over the last couple of weeks. So, the
last couple of years, there's been a lot of drama with that process.
Totally,
so.
and I understand they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to make it better, which is a good thing. I love the fact that they went up to a 12-team format. I think that's much better than the 4-team. The 4-team is ridiculous, right? There's way too many teams throughout college football, and we saw the benefits of that even just last season, right?
Yeah.
So. To see Notre Dame go all the way, and so yeah, but
they're not doing that this year.
No, they are not, and that's what I want to talk about. So, Notre Dame has come out publicly. They said that they feel attacked by the ACC. They feel attacked by college football. They've even dropped out of bowl game consideration solely based on the fact that they got snubbed in the college football playoffs. And, frankly, I feel for them. I do feel for them. There's not a lot that I can say. I mean, they were hovering right around the 10-11 spot, and that's a tough call for the CFP committee. But I got some stats here. So, Notre Dame was ranked above Miami almost all season long, right? They'd usually be, they have one team right between them. If Notre Dame was 8, then Miami would be 10 or something like that. And that's a lot of the reasoning that the CFP committee used to justify this move, and I'll kind of get into some of that. But prior to the selection, right, they do on a weekly basis. They do a ranking show on Tuesday nights. And on Tuesday, they had Notre Dame ranked above Miami. They had them ranked number 10, and Miami was ranked 11th. Okay, so going into the weekend, a lot of people felt like Notre Dame was going to take that spot. But there's a couple things that we got to consider here. In week 1, Notre Dame lost to Miami 27-24. Okay, they're averaging 41 points per game. That's 4th in the nation. They have 70 touchdowns and 5,502 total yards of offense. Their average points against is 17.6. That's 13th in the nation. And for Miami, also 10-2. Right, they're the same. And excuse me, actually, Notre Dame was ranked 9th on Tuesday, and Miami was ranked 10th. Sorry, I want to put that out there.
Still, ahead of Miami.
Yes. Miami comes in at 34.1 points per game. That's 20th, right? So we're going from 4th in the nation with Notre Dame to 20th with Miami, and 13.8 points per game allowed. Now that's 6th in the nation. So maybe the defensive ranking had something to do there with this decision. One of the things that the CFP said is that all season long, because they had a team right between them almost all season, they didn't really have a great opportunity to look at the side-by-side comparison before making this decision. And when they did, they came to the conclusion that Miami deserved that spot. Here's something else, though, right? Notre Dame doesn't play in a conference.
Independent.
Right, yeah, they're independent, technically. And so they have a lot of different games now. Strength of schedule is taken into consideration with these, and maybe that's another thing. Maybe Miami's strength of schedule got them the spot, but Miami comes in third in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even win the ACC, right?
Yeah,
they had two teams above them, and Duke won the ACC and didn't get in.
Mm-hmm.
So just some more kind of interesting stuff there. Duke, I know, definitely feels like they got snubbed. But I've got a couple things that kind of irritate me about the current platform. Should 5 champions make it in? No, absolutely not. I think it should be 4 champions from the top 4 divisions or top 4 conferences. And frankly, I don't think that James Madison should have made it into the college football playoffs.
Well, because they were
the number 12.
Yes,
and
but they were
the
ranked 25th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right. So you can't tell me that James Madison deserves to be in there more than Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way, right? You can't tell me, that Duke doesn't deserve that spot when they're coming in first in the ACC over James Madison.
Right.
So I think that the 5 champion rule is not good. I don't think that it's good for football, and frankly, I think it should be just 4, and then we don't get into a situation like this where Notre Dame is feeling like they're snubbed. And there are a couple other teams that feel like they got snubbed. Some people feel like Alabama shouldn't have made it in, especially with the loss to Georgia recently in the SEC championship. And it was a bad loss.
They got pushed around.
Oh, yeah. It was a bad loss. But Alabama's had some big wins this season. They've had some big wins this season, and down the stretch, they played really well. I do feel for Notre Dame. They won 10 straight games and didn't make it in. I'm not sure where they move from here, but I don't think that 5 champions should make it in. I think it should only be 4, and those should be the top 4 seeds.
Yeah,
it's interesting that they put Ohio State at the 4 seed. I get it; they want to put the best 4 in the top. But at the same time, they didn't win the championship. It kind of gets a little bit weird with the seeding. So, do I think that Tulane should be the 4 seed? Absolutely not. But it just feels awkward. It feels clunky, and so I'd like to see some real thought put into the college football playoffs for next season. I do feel bad for Notre Dame. I think that they're throwing a little bit of a fit. It's done and it's over with. You can't do anything about it. And frankly, at this point, you're not going to change anything by saying anything more.
Right.
I'm a little bit disappointed. I feel like it's poor sportsmanship to pull themselves out of bowl contention. So I don't agree with that, but at the same time, I get it. I think that they should have been in. Do I think they're winning the national championship? No, I do not. I think that Indiana is really, really tough. They would have been put on the tough side of the bracket. They would have been put on Indiana's side of the bracket, right? On the other side of that, Georgia too. Georgia super, super tough. Ohio State looked great, right? So I just don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but they definitely need to do something. And I do feel for some of these teams that didn't make it in.
And this system is still in its infancy.
Right. It's a work in progress, right?
So,
and they're even talking about maybe going up to 16-team playoff.
Yeah.
I think that maybe could get a little bit excessive, right? You're going to find teams in there that don't deserve to be in there.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. So.
And we've seen this with Florida State.
Right.
That was a whole uproar when they didn't make it. And funnily enough, the next year they were horrible. So
as goes college football.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's like I am curious what they're gonna do. what they're going to change with this whole system, because it's so imperfect as of right now, that you're always going to have these problems arise every year if there's a snub aspect,
right?
Or if like how many variables are being taken into consideration when choosing these teams, because like if it were to just come down to like, well, Notre Dame lost to who did they lose to again week 1?
Miami.
If it just came down to that,
who
like
made it in?
Made it in? It's like, well, that's a tiebreaker head to head,
right?
Like that's more simplified. But if you're taking in the variables of offensive and defensive,
strength of schedule,
yeah,
and it is biased, right?
Yeah.
There's no way for it to be unbiased. I think that if we did take into account head to head, but then not all teams play each other
right
all season long, right? I mean, how weird is it that Miami is 3rd in the ACC?
Yeah,
right. But they're a top team in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
They're ranked.
Duke finished what 8-5.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I believe so.
And then who finished second? Was it Virginia?
Yes, it was Virginia.
So like, yeah, it's a very weird system. And again, I think that they can figure it out, but they need to change their process, because it's going to be controversy every year at this
They
rate.
need to find a really concrete way
yeah
to do the placements, right? And
Less
I don't know what the answer is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Yeah.
But there's got to be something better than what they're doing right now, because this is a mess.
Yeah.
Well, next on my list, we're gonna go way outside of what we normally do here. And thank you, Miles. Miles has given me permission to talk about some baseball. Not something you guys get to hear a lot about, but they just had the Hall of Fame announcements. And I got kind of a bone to pick with the Hall of Fame committee. Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't care what anybody says. Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. He was a Hall of Famer before he did steroids, and and I've got some other stats here that I want you guys to hear me out about. But I mean, even before he was a Giant, he was a Hall of Famer. There's no way that you can tell me that he wasn't pre-steroids. Pre-1999, he was still a fantastic player. So I'm gonna give you guys some stats pre and post steroids. Okay, so pre-steroids, he had a .288 batting average, 922 RBIs, 309 home runs, and 311 stolen bases. This is all through 1998, so pre-steroids, right?
How long was that time frame? When was he? Let
me take a look here. 1985. So from 1985 to 1998.
Good God.
Yep.
That's insane.
Dude, he was an animal. 3 MVPs, 8 Golden Gloves. And you're going to tell me that this guy was not a Hall of Famer?
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
I think so too.
Yeah. That is a crying shame. And so here's the thing. So he's not back up for Hall of Fame selection until 2033.
Wow.
2033. And if he doesn't get in when they look at his era again, he will never get in again.
No,
he will be barred from ever being in the selection.
Yeah.
It's criminal. It's criminal. It's ridiculous. There's some other guys that also deserve to be in. I'm sorry, but if you didn't get caught, if your steroid period was before 2005, you should be a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, hands down. 2005 is when it all started to kind of when they started implementing mandatory drug testing. Actually, 2004. Sorry, they implemented mandatory drug testing. I just don't think that that's.
They're making an example out of them.
They are, and it's ridiculous. And here's the other thing too. I think that the Hall of Fame selection committee is just a bunch of reporters, right? They're reporters, and they have a bone to pick with Barry because, frankly, he's an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
He is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all great players are. Michael Jordan, not a super nice guy, man.
Yeah.
Look at Mamba.
Yeah.
Right? Kobe, not super cool dude.
Yeah.
Right? But he was a hell of a basketball player.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're going to be great, you're probably not going to be that cool of a dude.
Yeah.
Right? It's the Mamba mentality. And I can't stand the fact that he's getting snubbed based off of biases, and they're taking into account the last, few years of his career. But some post steroid stats. So he did go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He did go crazy, right? He got big. Barry got big after he started juicing. 49 home runs in 2000, 73 for the record in 2001. Okay. He was walked 232 times in 2004 because of how dangerous he was in the box. Yeah. That was also a record, and he had a .609 on base percentage. He's getting on base 60% of the time.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Pretty wild. He won MVPs every year from 2001 to 2004. Right? And in this time, there is no mandatory drug testing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not telling him he can't do it.
Yeah.
But you're going to punish him.
Yeah.
For the rest of his career and not put him in the Hall of Fame. That's ridiculous. Here's something else. Barry Bonds never tested for PEDs. Never tested positive for PEDs. Wow. So there's no physical. Yes, we know he juiced.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying that he didn't, but you don't even have proof.
It's not on record.
Right.
Within your own league.
And you're going to punish him for the rest of his career. Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. Pre-steroids. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
He had an amazing career. Like I said, 3 MVPs, 8 Gold Gloves, pre-1999. You can't tell me otherwise.
That's in a 3-year span, 3-4-year season span. Like, and we hear all the tales of the players
not a 3-year span. Sorry, Miles. 1985.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
not 95. Yeah,
that makes more sense.
1985.
So 13, 14-year span. And we hear all the things about legendary players who arguably had 2 Hall of Fame careers. Kobe Bryant, wearing number 8 and going to 24. LeBron, you could argue he's had a Hall of Fame career everywhere he's went.
Yep.
So
he's won championships everywhere he's gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it's just really unfortunate. It's a very petty way of making an example out of it. And it's like, I think baseball, I understand the aspect of like, we don't want PEDs. Like, I think that's good for any sport. But if there was a sport, and this is kind of like getting into like a selfish entertainment way, if there's a sport where PEDs was going to be allowed, it should be baseball.
Right.
Because that would, just home runs are sexy.
Well, here's something else too, right? Baseball hates Barry Bonds.
Uh-huh.
But nobody profited more from Barry Bonds than
MLB.
Baseball. Yep. Yeah. Yep. The teams, the coaches, right? The viewership skyrocketed.
Yeah.
People wanted to see Barry Bonds play.
Yeah.
Right? And the steroid era as a whole, baseball exploded.
Yeah.
It went crazy.
That
right?
That is instant revenue.
And then you're looking at these coaches. There's coaches out there that are Hall of Fame coaches, but they're not being punished. But they allowed this.
Yeah.
They allowed it to happen. The organizations allowed it to happen.
Right.
So you're going to punish just these players?
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
It is crazy.
So,
yeah. I'm not a big baseball guy. But even I know how good Barry Bonds was. And I know how controversial it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, like, the fact that they might just be, like, just waiting till the very, 2033 to be like, all right, like, we're going to hold it off. But it would be a crime for him to be removed from designation of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Because
baseball is not the same without him. Baseball would not be the same without him, and it's just unfortunate. And I've never liked the way that they select their Hall of Famers. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think that a bunch of writers should be.
Well, because then there's outside influence,
right?
Yeah. Like
tons of bias.
If Barry Bonds was an asshole outside of the diamond, that shouldn't be, unless he's like a convicted criminal of some of the worst crimes you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are assholes everywhere.
Right.
So you got to keep your eyes on the diamond. What did he do on the field? And leave it at that.
Right.
Because, any outside bias, it's unfair.
Yeah, well, you know what else is unfair, Miles? Is the fact that we can't catch up on a dual threat bet to save our lives. All right, man. Miles and I both won our dual threat bets once again. I had Trevor Lawrence plus 235.5. Miles, what did you have?
I had Travis Etienne plus 70.5 rushing yards.
That was a gimme.
Yeah. But I think he barely got it. He got 74.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But none of us can break ground on each other. I can't extend a lead, and you can't close the lead.
It's really frustrating because I really don't want to run this beer mile.
I know.
I really don't want to, and there's only a few weeks left in the season for me to make some ground.
I thought about that today. I was like, oh my God, that sounds so horrible.
Are we doing the playoffs too? Yes. Yeah, we are.
You just want more time.
Yeah, I do.
You just want more time.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're doing the playoffs for sure.
Okay. Yeah, we can do the playoffs. But yeah, man, it's been a long time since anybody has made any ground.
Mm-hmm.
I've been ahead by 2 games for what feels like infinity. So we got the Packers and the Broncos this week to see if we can shake those things up.
2 teams that are borderline fraudulent. Teams. But it should be a good game still. So Miles, are you ready to pull?
Yes, I am.
All right. Let me get the sound going here. And Miles picked these all on his own. I was writing my Barry Bonds essay over here.
Yeah. And what an essay it was.
Oh man, I don't love this.
I love mine.
What'd you get?
Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown.
You put that in there?
Yes. Because you might have been too focused on your essay.
That's
but
crazy.
I read them all to you, and you were like, I was like, do any of those sound too easy? And you're like, no.
Josh Jacobs is tearing his ACL in the first quarter of the game. All right. I got Bo Nix plus 1 rushing touchdown.
Could happen.
It could.
Yeah.
It could. I don't think that it's as likely as Josh Jacobs getting into the end zone.
Yeah, I'd say so. And he always gets in what seems like in the last 5 minutes of the game. They're inside the 5, and it's like, all right, yeah, cash your money. Jalen Hurts for sure is not going to be cashing his money after that historic performance last night. Five turnovers. Philly fans are in shambles. Everyone's mocking him, saying so is Jalen Hurts still a top 5 quarterback?
I never thought he was.
I never thought he was. And tonight,
and the Eagles have lost 3 straight.
And they've lost 3 straight. And last night, I think, was the cherry on top to that argument because, like I said, he had 5 turnovers. 4 interceptions.
Apple or cherry?
1 fumble. 31.3 quarterback rating.
Wow.
And
that is brutal.
And something we've never seen, he had 2 turnovers in 1 play. It's already bad enough.
In 1 play?
So one of the picks he threw was to a defensive lineman. Bad enough. He drops back in coverage. This wasn't some tip drill. He dropped back in coverage, and Jalen Hurts was like, I don't care. And he threw it anyway. And, unsurprisingly, defensive linemen don't get the ball a lot. So when they're out there running with it, it's easier to strip it. And he got the ball stripped from him. Jalen Hurts was in the right place at the right time. He picked it back up, and then he got stripped, and the Chargers recovered it.
That's so awesome.
It's, you don't see that. And this is a stat that's come up multiple times, not like Hurts specific, but just with some atrocious quarterback play that we've seen this year. J.J. McCarthy was the most recent, I believe. In terms of his rating, had Jalen Hurts spiked the ball on every snap, he would have had a better rating than he did this game with a 31.3. And McCarthy suffered that same fate handful of weeks ago.
That is humiliating.
Yeah.
That is humiliating. I think it's very telling, and that's pretty embarrassing. Well, we're gonna stay on the topic of the Eagles, and I got one more thing for our Hall of Shame. It's a short thing, but last night Saquon broke off for a big run, and not only was Nick Sirianni glazing his offensive lineman, but ESPN decided to glaze the same offensive lineman, which was really interesting because it was very clearly a hold on the play. Mack. Yeah. On Jordan Mailata.
No, he was holding Khalil
Mack. Holding Khalil Mack. Okay. Sorry, yeah. I mean, yeah, and it was just so obvious. Even the announcers are like, it looks like a hold. I'm actually going to play the audio for you guys, but it's it's pretty embarrassing. It's pretty embarrassing.
And the line judge was right there.
Yeah, that this is a no call. But here, give it a listen.
52-yard run behind Jordan Mailata, who may have gotten away with a hold on that play. The Eagles came out, 52-yard run behind Jordan.
So that was a 52-yard run by Saquon, ended in a touchdown, and ESPN is out here glazing it, talking about how hyped Nick Sirianni was after the play, and of course he is, right? They're getting away with holding.
Yeah,
just like always. Just like always, the Eagles are getting away with holding once again.
And holding is way more apparent when you have these outside runs. They ran the fake tush push, tossed it to Saquon, and he was taking the edge. It's like you're so much more likely to be called for holding on that because of the way defenders are trying to get to the ball carrier. You're not climbing the level when you're just running a halfback dive. He is running around. Khalil Mack is trying to get the edge, and this isn't specific to that play, but it's like as a lineman or a receiver or a tight end, when you're trying to block that play, you're not blocking him sideways. You're in front of him when the ball carrier's to your outside. So you're more likely to hold, grab his shoulder pads, like keep him from going over there. And he did like the bear hug.
I was going to say, this is bad. He's all the way around, wrapping him up. And you just can't do that. And the fact that the officials are standing right there watching it happen on a huge play like that, and it's not getting called back, is what we've come to expect, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you know what else we've come to expect is that Miles is pretty good at fantasy. Yeah, Miles, we'll glaze you a little bit. So you had the first round bye last week. Crazy once again. The playoffs started in week 14. It's a crying shame.
Yeah, we won't open that bar or can of worms.
Yeah, if you guys want to hear that one, you can go back and listen to last week's episode. But I'm proud of you, Miles. Do you think you're going to win this week?
I don't know. I don't care anymore.
I called for your second round exit. Actually,
you did. Yes.
You say you don't care anymore? There's a lot on the line. The prize is pretty good. Custom jersey.
It's a custom jersey that I have no control over.
And cash, right?
I believe so. I don't know anymore. I'm more about just the straight up buy-in.
Yeah.
and just take the cash. Because that'd be $240.
Right.
Like, that's sick. Yeah, I really don't. Like I said, and we've said this, I think you and I have both agreed on this the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing to not lose as opposed to like playing to win, because that reward compared to that punishment
in that specific league,
league, like regarding the punishment and then the prize,
right?
It's like I'd much rather not lose.
Yeah.
So,
well, and Jack already took care of that for us, so we're pretty straight. But
yeah, Commissioner,
you know, while I may not have been playing for the championship in that league, I definitely am in a couple of my other leagues, because I got about $1,800 on the line.
Good God.
Yeah. $1,200 in one league, $600 in the other. I am sitting at the number 1 seed in the $600 league. I'm feeling pretty confident moving forward. Not super worried about the competition. We'll see what happens. I'm happy about my lineups. I've worked in quite a bit of depth just in case.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got backup quarterbacks at the ready. So
good. Yeah.
So feeling pretty good there. But we've got some quarterback replacements for you guys. If you were unlucky enough to be relying on Daniel Jones, so some quarterback replacements. First and foremost, we've been glazing this guy for weeks, and I got to keep it going. Jacoby Brissett, he's available in so many leagues, and if you are quarterback needy, go and get him. He's over this last season, he has been 229 for 346. That's pretty good. Over 2,400 yards, 15 passing touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions. Those are some pretty good numbers. Now, let me give you a number that's not very good. He's taken 29 sacks this season. Now, keep in mind that Kyler Murray played for a lot of the season this year.
Played 5 weeks.
Yep. And Jacoby Brissett has taken 29 sacks. That is brutal. I mean,
in 7 weeks, I believe. Like 7 weeks. That O-line is so bad. It's so bad. And it's
pretty atrocious. And you see injuries from their running backs all over the place too.
Yeah.
Those guys they need to get it together up front. And we talked about Jacoby Brissett. Maybe he takes over at the start of next season until somebody younger can get in there. But Jacoby Brissett's doing great, man. His season average for fantasy points, 16.9 points per game, right? Over the last 7 weeks, he's averaging 24.4 points per game. That's just over the last 7 weeks.
Yeah.
This guy's on fire.
Yeah.
He's going crazy. So if you got availability, if you need a quarterback, if you need a backup quarterback, and you got someone on your roster that you don't need, pick up Jacoby Brissett. That could be your guy.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what helped push me into the number 1 seed. And he has elevated, like Trey McBride has gone off since he's gone in.
Yeah.
Michael Wilson without Marvin Harrison Jr. It looks elite. Like
I think he put up
crazy.
33 points last week or something crazy for fantasy. So who you got, Miles? Go ahead.
I got your guy.
Glock Purdy?
I got big Glock Cock Purdy. He and this is our league specifically. He was available. You had the CJ Strouds and the Bryce Youngs.
Mm-hmm.
He's
available in quite a few leagues.
I think his upside is a lot better. Now, his stats this year, 9 pass touchdowns, 7 interception. He has a rushing touchdown. But they're playing good. They got Tennessee this week. His projections are around 16 to 18 points, like pretty consistently. Right. So if you're in a 1 week stint where you need somebody outside of Daniel Jones, especially against Tennessee, who gives up the 8th most fantasy points to quarterbacks, Brock Purdy might be your guy. Now, for the rest of the year, I don't know, because it's not going to get much easier. I mean, they face the Colts, who are injury-ridden.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones just got hurt. They play the Bears, and then they finish the year with Seattle. And that's probably going to be a huge game.
It's going to be telling.
Yeah.
The last 2 games of the season are going to be very telling.
They are. So maybe just for like this 1 week, if you're desperate, you could hold on to him. But
I think against the Colts too. Maybe not bad. Maybe the next 2 weeks might not be a bad idea to throw them in there. I mean,
can light up
the Colts.
You
the
can
Colts
light 'em
are
up.
struggling. Yeah, they're struggling because they've got injuries in the secondary.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can light up the Colts. So I think, just given the context of what your waiver wires look like, Brock Purdy, if he's available that much, he could be a good placeholder.
Yeah.
So, oh man, this segment, I love this segment. We got game predictions.
I'm not loving this segment
Yeah,
so much after last week, but we're not going to talk about it.
Well, let's just say I scrolled down to the next segment and I saw it, and I just couldn't help but laugh.
Yeah, Miles, if you'd be so kind, please don't share my my record from last week, because I don't think I could recover from that.
No, if you really want to know, go watch last episode and just tally it yourself.
It was brutal. It was brutal. There were a lot of upsets last week.
Yeah, and I went 4-3 because of it. So
got a little risky.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which games lost. It doesn't matter at this point. But yeah, it was a weird week. There were some weird outcomes. So hopefully this week is more straightforward. Jared, do you want me to start off?
Yeah,
with
man.
Our predictions?
Rip it.
Okay. Starting off, got the Chargers at the Chiefs. Chiefs are they're falling off, man, and it's beautiful.
Downward spiral.
Chargers just came off a big win against Philly. I'll go with LA. I think they've got more meaningful football ahead of them, more important football, and I know the Chiefs aren't mathematically eliminated, but they'd have to win out to finish 10-7. They've got some bad tiebreakers that they could lose if those other teams finish with the same record. They can't win their division. So I think the Chargers, they still are in contention. They're going to take that game.
All right, Miles picked against the Chiefs. Go put money on them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I can never figure them out. Titans at the 49ers. Put your money on this. Cam Ward. Woo! He is so electric. San Francisco. Speaking of meaningful football, that's a game they can't lose.
You would think. That's a trap game.
You would think.
Yeah, it's a trap game.
Cardinals could tell you about that. Next up, we got the Ravens at the Bengals. This is a weird one. I don't know. The Bengals kind of gave that game away to the Bills. The Ravens just lost to the Steelers. So now, now they're behind a game, I believe, in their division. That's a game the Ravens need to win, but it's in Cincinnati. And I think Joe Burrow is going to be pissed the way that game ended. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take Cincinnati.
Yeah, buddy. Joe Burrow, baby.
I can't get behind Baltimore right now. Lions at the Rams. Man, that's a Goff versus Stafford electric matchup against their old teams. I'll go with the Rams. They're at home. They're playing some high-level football. They just took the Cardinals to the woodshed the week before. So, and meaningful football, man. They're
right.
They're leading the NFC now. Got the NFC West, so they're going to be trying to hold on to that. Commanders at the Giants. Jackson Dart, I love you. I'm taking the Giants. Taking the Giants, the G-men. Falcons at Buccaneers. I don't understand the Buccaneers. I know they're hurt, but I just feel like that's a game they would lose. I feel it in my bones.
The Falcons are so unpredictable.
They are so unpredictable.
You never know what's going to happen.
And that's a prime time, isn't it? That's Thursday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
The Buccaneers have to win that game. They know they have to win that game.
It is a must-win.
I'm going to take them. They have to win that game. Dolphins at the Steelers. Dolphins on the rise, man. Steelers just got a one-game lead in their division.
Achane might be hurt.
It's in Pittsburgh. Dolphins don't play well in the cold. Pittsburgh. I'll go with Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers is used to the cold. Raiders at the Eagles. We gonna make it 4 L's in a row for Philly?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. They need a get right game, and I think it's coming at a good time.
And it's in Philly.
It's in Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be Philly.
I feel bad for the Raiders.
Yeah.
I feel bad for whoever's playing quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jared. Yeah,
that's
that's
final?
it for
All
me.
right. All right, man. Man, we got a lot of games. Because there's no more bye weeks. So 16 games, 8 games apiece. All right. Buffalo at New England. I'm taking New England. They're at home. I think they're the better team.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets at Jacksonville. Same thing. We're going with the home team, taking Jacksonville. Arizona at Houston. Once again, we're going with the home team. It's going to be the Texans. Cleveland at Chicago. Bears are on a roll. I know they had a loss last week, but it was still, it's a close game.
Yeah.
Indy at Seattle. Indy's beat up. Seattle's on a roll right now too. They're at home. Taking the home team. All right, this is the first one where I'm going to stray. We got Green Bay at Denver. I'm taking the Packers. Packers are going to put the fraudulent Broncos in their place. And yeah, we're going with Green Bay. Carolina at New Orleans.
Ooh.
This is my least favorite one because every time I pick the Panthers, they lose. And every time I pick against them, they win. So.
And New Orleans just beat Tampa Bay.
Oh, man, I cannot stand it. Should I stay on? What do you think, Miles? Should I stay on the home field run here? Or is Carolina going to show up in a divisional matchup?
That's a game they have to win.
Carolina?
But, yeah.
You're right. Carolina's more desperate.
Yeah.
Carolina's more desperate. That's a divisional matchup. All right, man. We'll go with the away team. Thanks for the insight there, Miles.
Of course.
All right. Minnesota at Dallas. 2 more very unpredictable teams, right? Last week I picked them to beat Detroit. I thought they were the hot hand. Detroit's been on the fall off. And Detroit brought the heat.
Yeah.
They brought the heat. Maybe that was a get right game for them, right? They know they're in a must-win situation right now as well.
Yeah.
And Minnesota came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? Had a blowout game.
Crazy.
Yep. Against Washington. And not that I think that, I mean, we've talked about this. Washington's been injured. They've had, not saying that they're some great team, but I certainly didn't expect it to be a blowout. I didn't expect 9 to show up.
Oh, 9 showed up.
9 showed up.
He showed up and showed out.
But you know what? I don't think he's showing up this week.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Dallas, taking the Cowboys.
Yeah.
9's going to be looking right into the sun.
Yep. Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah. Shout out to Jerry Jones. Well, we may be shouting out Jerry Jones on our predictions, but I don't think he's making our top 10. He's not making mine. I'll give you that one.
No. I thought about it, but
I thought about it too, even in our honorable mentions, but I couldn't.
Their defense is too bad.
I couldn't bring myself to do it. So, Dak's playing well though.
Yeah,
he's playing well. Except for that safety that he took this last week.
Yeah.
But we're doing something a little bit different. We're gonna do our top 10 power rankings for the NFL. We're gonna start at number 10. I figure, Miles, we can go back and forth.
Yeah.
And just talk about each of them. And this is gonna get a little spicy because I got some in here that people aren't gonna agree with. Something else that we use to determine these things, or at least for myself, I don't want to speak for Miles, but for myself, when I was going through mine, I looked at record, looked at strength of schedule. We went real CFP committee with these.
Yeah.
And then also I tried to look at notable wins, right? Who are they beating? How long ago was it? Was it at the beginning of the season? Was it towards the end of the season? Are they on the come up right now? And initially when I went through, I ranked mine, and then I had to go back and make some changes after I started looking at these schedules, and it was deeper than what I thought. So, and there was one that actually really surprised me. So we'll get into that, but I'll kick us off, Miles, and then you give me your number 10, okay?
Okay.
So at number 10, I got the Packers. The one thing about the Packers that I couldn't not have them in my top 10. I don't know if they made Miles, but I couldn't not have them in my top 10. I know that they are leading that division. It's a tough division, but I think that at times they have fallen off in some games. But here's the other thing: they've beaten the Lions twice. They beat Chicago last week. They are on the up and up, and they've also taken down Seattle and Indy when they were really, really tough. So,
yeah. I know you don't like this one. At 10, I got the Bills. I've got Buffalo.
I understand why you feel that way.
Because
I understand why you feel that way.
They're
up and down. Yeah.
And they've lost some bad games. And frankly, they were kind of lucky to win that game against Cincinnati. Joe Burrow doesn't make a mistake like that very often.
Right.
For a pick six
and in the snow.
In the snow
in Buffalo. They should have destroyed Cincy.
Yeah. They beat the Chiefs. I understand the Chiefs aren't what they were, but those games aren't easy, you know. And they beat the Ravens week 1. That was another lucky win.
Right.
So I just I know that they're top 10 worthy. I just can't put them above the ones I have. And they lost to the Falcons and the Dolphins.
Right.
So it just goes back to the inconsistency part of, are they going to figure it out on the brink of the playoffs? Because if not, they're not going to make the AFC Championship game, and if they do, they're not going to win it playing like this.
Right.
So, yeah, Buffalo, number 10.
Who you got at number 9, Miles?
I got the Chargers.
Me too, buddy.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, with the Niners.
Can't not put them up there after last night's game.
Yeah.
And they've got some big wins. They've got some big wins this season.
I mean, they beat the Eagles last night. They beat the Broncos.
They beat the Chiefs.
They beat the Chiefs week 1, yeah.
And the Lions.
But they lost to the Giants, and they've lost to the Commanders. So,
trap games.
It's those bad losses that will sink you down, at least for me. So,
that's why people haven't taken the Chargers very seriously. But when they play good teams, they play to the. This is a good thing and a bad thing. They're playing to the level of their competition.
It's a double-edged sword,
right? And they need to play above it.
Yes,
they need to play above it. So, sorry about that, folks. We had some technical difficulties. Our camera died, and so we had to get that set back up.
What was the last thing we said?
We just finished up with the Chargers, and I was moving on to my number 8 pick. So at number 8, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. Now they are on the downward spiral.
Yeah,
but the reason why I have to put them in my top 10 is honestly the strength of their roster. They are falling off really bad right now. Again, they've lost their last 3 games. But they started off so strong, and you can't count them out. That's just my thought process on that. They've had big wins against Detroit, Green Bay, the Rams, Kansas City, and Tampa.
Yeah.
Those are all huge wins.
Yeah.
And so I just can't count them out.
No, and they were, I'll let you know right now, they were out of my top 10. Because
I don't blame you. I don't blame you for that. I think there's going to be some Eagles fans that maybe are not very happy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they've fallen off.
I mean, the offense is a shell of itself. They all want Patullo fired, their offensive coordinator. The defense is not as elite as it was.
Right.
So it's just, in losing those 3 in a row, I can't do it. I can't do it. But for number 8, I've got the 49ers.
Nice.
They beat the Rams. They beat the Seahawks week 1. Those were like early season wins, but they were still rolling at that point. Right. And I think the biggest factor for the 49ers is of how injured they are. Robert Saleh is making some chicken salad out of chicken shit with that defense. Like, that is some elite coaching. Shanahan is Shanahan. So for them to be 9-4 at this point, having wins like that,
fighting for the NFC West title, and maybe the number 1 seed,
depending on how that shakes out. Yeah. So it's crazy, man. Like they're pretty impressive this year given the circumstances. So I got them at number 8.
Nice, Miles. Who you got at number 7?
I got the team that beat the 49ers, and this is where I gave them the edge. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have been playing really well as of recently. Notable wins: they beat the Chargers, they beat the Chiefs, and they beat the 49ers. So that's where I will give the edge. If they had to play one more time, I'd probably take the 49ers. But they're also in a tough division as of right now, a close race. So Jacksonville at 7. How about you?
So I'm going to tell you, Jacksonville did not make my top 10. I had them in there, and I ended up dropping them off because I felt like when I was looking at their schedule, yes, they had some big wins, but those were really early on in the season, and they haven't won any crazy games in the recent, in the last few weeks. And, their defense is really good. If I had to pick an 11, it would be probably the Jaguars.
Yeah.
But they did not make my top 10. So at number 7, I have the 49ers. And it's for the same reasons. I don't think we need to keep going over it, but I'm impressed by what they've been able to do, and I'm trying to be as objective as possible. I know I'm wearing this 49ers beanie right now, but I think that everything that they've overcome this season with all of the injuries, I have to give them some love. So
yeah.
Number 6 on my list. This is gonna upset probably a lot of people because they probably think that they should be higher considering their record. It's the 11-2 Broncos. The Broncos have had some big wins. They've had some big wins, especially early on in the season. They beat KC, they beat Philly, and they beat the San Francisco 49ers. But they're winning a lot of their games against bad teams by very close margins.
Yeah.
And frankly,
Raiders, Jets,
yeah,
Commanders.
It's feeling fraudulent.
Giants.
It's feeling fraudulent. You can't live in the fourth quarter. You're not going to the Super Bowl living in the fourth quarter like that. It's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. So that's why the Broncos are sitting at number 6 at 11-2.
And number 6, I've got the Bears.
Wow. Very nice, Miles.
And I will give...
I'm impressed.
And number 5, they have the edge. But the Bears, for how well they've played, they started the year really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like I believe they started 0-2. They got mollywopped by Detroit. Like they dropped a 50 burger on them. But they've turned it around. I think Ben Johnson is a good coach. He even says the offense is not playing it's not playing to its highest caliber. I think Caleb's taken a good step this year. And they've had notable wins. Steelers aren't a slouch, and they've beaten Philly. So I think 6. The Bears were a tough one to rank because they're still so fresh,
right?
But I think 6 is like a good middle of the pack place to put them.
This was a tough decision for me. The Bears did not make my top 10, and I think if they beat the Packers last week, they would have.
Yeah.
So
okay, and then number 5 for me, I've got. Did you say number? Who did you have in number 6?
I had the Broncos. So
that's right.
Number
okay.
5.
Okay. Number 5, I've got Green Bay.
Okay.
And nice. I do think they're fraudulent, but
I think that's a little high.
Yeah.
I think that's a little on personal. I think that's a little high.
But like you already said, they beat the Bears. They've beat the Lions twice, and I think the biggest shift for Green Bay this year, as opposed to last year, is they're winning in their division.
Right.
So they're 4-0 as of right now. They beat the Bears and Vikings once, and they swept the Lions. That was their biggest Achilles heel last year. Was the division was really good, and they had a losing record. So, in the division. So, yeah, I think that win over Chicago to take over the North, will give them the edge. But they're not free of fault. They've lost to Cleveland and Carolina. So that's where the fraudulent aspect comes in. I know a lot of people aren't happy with Matt LaFleur right now in terms of play calling. So that it's a very thin ice spot for them to be at right now.
My number 5, this is going to upset a lot of people. It's very different than where ESPN and NFL and a lot of these other medias have these guys. But at number 5, at 10-3, I got the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing about the Seahawks. I think they got a really good defense.
Yeah.
Right. And I want everyone to be clear, right? This is our top 10 list. We think these teams are good, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to pick out their insecurities because there's a reason why they're not number 1, right?
Right.
For the Seahawks, I had them at number 3. I had to drop them down. And the reason why is because I could not find really a notable win.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything that blew me out of the water. Like you haven't taken down any big name teams, right?
Yeah, but like it's the same reason for me. But like they're still taking care of business against these other teams. That's where like I think like they're a good team. They are good on all facets of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think you lose to San Francisco week 1 and you lose to the Rams to help them take over the division.
Right.
So, yeah, not quite as low for me. But who's your number 4?
Number 4, I have, and you're not going to like this, but I have the Buffalo Bills. I put them high. Now, here's why. Because I look at every team 5 through 10 on this list, and I think Buffalo beats them. I think in a head-to-head matchup, I think Buffalo beats them. I know that they've had some tough losses, but Buffalo's tough. And we're getting to playoff time. We're about to see playoff Josh Allen start to come through. They've had big wins this season against Cincinnati last week. That was a big win, right? Joe Burrow is back. He's not a slouch, and you can see how Cincinnati has elevated since he's been back.
Mm-hmm.
He looked good in that game, too.
Yeah.
They've also taken down Kansas City and Tampa when Tampa was healthy.
Yeah.
So I only put Tampa on here as notable wins if it was while they were moderately healthy.
Well,
right?
Yeah, while they were rolling.
James Cook has been going crazy. Josh Allen has been going crazy. I think that I just can't see putting them lower than this if I feel like they're going to beat all of these teams below.
Mm-hmm. Their defense bothers me. I think that's another big reason.
I think that it's a weakness.
Yeah.
I think that it's a weakness for sure, and it's why they're not higher than 4.
Mm-hmm. At 4 for me, and I felt gross putting this team here because I agree with you, but it's the Broncos. I think they're fraudulent. We're not going to beat a dead horse here. I think they have had statement wins, but they've had some close calls with teams that have no business being in the game.
Right.
We already hashed it. Raiders, Jets, Commanders, Giants. Barely beat them. And like you said, living in the fourth quarter, that's not sustainable. They have an elite defense, but they've given up some points in these games. So Bo Nix, I think it's hard for me to say he's taken a step forward or a step back this year. The offense just isn't what I thought it was going to be.
Right. It's not electric.
No.
It's not electric. And I think that Bo Nix does some good things. I definitely wouldn't say he's taken a step back personally.
Mm-hmm.
I still like Bo Nix. I just don't think that I've been expecting more from Sean Payton's offense.
Me too.
And I haven't really seen it. And so it's tough for me to sit here and look at the Broncos and say that they are a top team.
Right.
Yeah. They're a top 10 team.
Yeah.
But I can't put them higher.
Right. And at number 3, I've got the Seahawks. I think they're just they're gonna take care of, like, they're a good team. They got a good roster. They will take care of the team in front of them. But like we already said, they've lost. What are they? 2-2 in the division right now, and those 2 wins came to the Cardinals. Like hang the banners, throw a parade. But they losing to San Francisco and the Rams. Like, it's why I'm not going to put them above the other gauntlet in the NFC West. So,
wow. You may not believe who I have at number 3. At number 3 on my list, I've got the Houston Texans.
Defense.
The Houston Texans are only 8-5. They have the worst record on my list here.
Okay.
But they're going to sit at number 3, and I'm going to tell you why. The Houston Texans are on a hot streak right now. They are on the up and up. I don't care about their record. I think they're going to win that division. And frankly, they've had huge wins this season against Kansas City, against Buffalo, against Jacksonville, and against San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
All 4 of those teams sit in our top 10. And well, maybe not Kansas City, but
no.
But anytime you beat the Chiefs, that's still a statement win, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that that's kind of become the standard for the NFL, right? Can you beat the Chiefs?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And their defense is so good. It is
crazy
so good. I think that even on offense, I think they're operating well. It's not elite, but that defense is taking care of business, and that's why they earned the number 3 spot for me.
Wow. Yeah, that is shocking. And Seattle handled them when they played.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, number 2, I got the Rams. I mean, they're undeniable. Sean McVay is undeniable. And I just had to watch them put up 45 points against the Cardinals. So, yeah, like they beat the Seahawks to take over the division. They beat the Colts when they were rolling. They got their get back against San Francisco. I think their defense is statistically one of the best. I think they can.
And Matthew Stafford's an animal.
Matthew Stafford's having an MVP kind of season.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was really debating on putting them at number 1, but
I knew who my number 1 was right away.
You and I both have the same number 1.
Well, we have the same number 2 as well. I also took the Rams, and for the same reasons, man. I think their defense is elite. Their offense is firing on all cylinders. Their run game it's interesting right now. It's an interesting committee. I'm curious to see what they do in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But they have elite wide receivers on both sides, and Matthew Stafford just looks awesome. On top of that, you got Sean McVay, who's easily one of the best head coaches in the league. Yeah. And I just think that they're going to be really tough to stop. I see them winning out throughout the rest of the season.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that that's the direction that we're heading right now. Number 1 on my list, you all know, it's New England, baby. At 11-2, the New England Patriots have had big wins against the Bucks when they were healthy, and the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah,
right?
When they were rolling.
Yeah, the Patriots have been rolling this season as well. I just, Drake May. I really believe in Drake May. I really believe what they're doing on defense. I'll be honest. I have them at number 1 in my power rankings. I don't know if I believe in them in the playoffs just yet, though. Right?
I don't know either.
The regular season. This is strictly for right now in the regular season, going into Week 15. I'm not talking about 6 weeks down the line. I'm not talking about Super Bowl, anything like that. But I think that if the Patriots were in a head-to-head matchup in the playoffs against some of these teams, I'm not sure that they would win.
Yeah.
But for right now, if they played any of these teams tomorrow, except for maybe the Rams, which would be a close matchup, I think they beat every single one of them on this list.
Yeah. I don't know if I would say they would beat every single one, but
who do you think tops them?
I think the Rams and the Seahawks would beat them.
I don't know about the Seahawks. Like I said, I think maybe the Rams.
Rams for sure. I think Seattle would beat them. Because I think here's the thing with the Patriots. They have one of the worst rosters on this list.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have like nearly as much talent as these other teams.
But what a job Mike Vrabel is
Mike
doing.
Vrabel, coaching matters. And you see this with Shanahan too, whether you're injured or you just don't have good players. That's where coaching matters. Because unlike the NBA, and I don't even think the NBA is a good example here, but talent is not the sole reason you're going to win a championship. You need to have a coach who can elevate them, put them in the best places to succeed, and when those star players get hurt, next man up mentality, where is that going to come from? It's going to come from the coaching.
Right.
So, and Mike Vrabel, for him to do a complete turnaround in his first year with New England, Drake May has looked awesome. I think that's pretty undeniable, and I agree with you. Like, I don't know come playoff time what it's going to look like, but as we sit right now, the Patriots deserve it. And I know there's a lot of controversy with who they've played, and the schedule is easy and stuff. You play who's in front of you at the end of the day. So, to consider them at 11-2 when nobody thought they would be in this position, I think it's impressive. They deserve number one.
Well, I've got some honorable mentions as well, and I know that you do too, Miles. Yeah. My honorable mentions, first and foremost, I got the Bears. Really tough for me to leave them off this. They're 9-4, just crushing it right now. Just crushing it. And I know they took a tough loss to the Packers this last weekend, and that's really why they didn't make my top 10. But I think that they're really good. I think they're really good, and I'm excited for their future. Do I think they're going to win a Super Bowl this season? No, but I do think that they have a really bright future. Caleb Williams is looking good. Their defense is looking good. They're running the ball well. They're well coached.
Yeah.
So excited to see what the Bears do in the coming years. Next on my honorable mentions, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, same thing. Tough to leave them off the list. They just didn't have the same notable wins that I was looking for when I was ranking these. So strength of schedule played into a lot of my rankings.
Yeah.
And then finally, this is gonna be a hot take. And again, I want everyone to remember, we're talking about right now in this moment, today, right? If they're playing somebody tomorrow, okay? The Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow on the roster. I think that they are a very tough team. They'd probably end up right around the middle of the pack for me, maybe around 15 or something like that. Can't put them in my top 10, but with Joe Burrow on the roster, you're seeing this team elevate. You're seeing the defense elevate to play for their captain. You're seeing the offense elevate to play for their captain, and it's just an enormous difference. And we've seen Joe Burrow carry this team for a really long time.
Yeah.
And so I just had to throw the Bengals out there.
It's an interesting one. And I love Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I know a lot of people probably are going to disagree with me, but I mean, all I have to say is watch the tape.
Yeah.
Watch the tape. Look at how they handled Buffalo.
Yeah. I'm surprised, maybe I'm forgetting, where did you have the Lions? Because they're in my honorable mentions. No mention?
The Lions did not make my list.
The Lions are interesting. Yeah,
we're having all kinds of technical difficulties today.
Today's been weird. Yeah, the Lions, I don't understand the Lions this year.
I think that's for me, that's why they didn't make my list, because they're too unreliable.
Yeah,
they're too unreliable.
I don't understand them, so I was never going to pinpoint a spot for them in the top 10. But honorable mention, outside looking in. Next up, and I think I already said this, I got the Eagles. That 3-game losing skid. Offense is a shell of itself. The defense hasn't been playing to its caliber. I can't sit here and put them on the power ranking as of today like earlier in the season, yeah, they'd be like top 3. But just given how it's looking today, it's not looking top 10. And my last one, I've got the Texans. They are getting hot at the right time. Their year did not start the way they wanted, but they're turning it around, and they're turning it around quick. Their defense has been playing really well. I still question CJ Stroud sometimes. Like, I know the offensive line is an issue, but there's still some things that I watch him do where he's in control and he's not making the most of it. He's like errant throws, stuff like that, to where I don't know how long the defense will be able to clean up any offensive miscues. And they're a good coached unit. Like, D'Amico's a good coach, but
it's a quality take, Miles.
Yeah,
it's a quality take.
Like, I don't know how sustainable this offense is going to be, to where the defense is going to have to win you these games pretty consistently. So,
right. Well, guys, that pretty much wraps up our show. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and don't forget to leave your comments too. If you guys are ever interested in being on the show, we will definitely do a call-in for you. Maybe a fourth quarter question of the week if you're interested. Maybe we'll berate you in the middle of one of our segments if you got a really hot take. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week.